Time for an update. I'm here with an orange mint, one that I ended up harvesting from and took some cuttings from. And again, this is an update, so this is about 2.5, 3 weeks after taking the initial cuttings. So I brought that out here, and I thought I'd take you guys along, go to the greenhouse and show you how the cuttings, the propagations are doing, and see if we have any roots taking place. So let's go. All right, there's the flat. Give me a second to set my camera up and we will go ahead and check it out. And so here is what we've got. The mint seems to be doing really, really well. Let's see here, we've got spearmint, the peppermint, and then the orange mint, which has a distinct leaf, real round leaves compared to especially this peppermint that has nice pointy leaves. But yeah, it's turned out really well. It's gotten nice, and I'll come down here. But here, I'll bring this over here. But the mint has really taken, from what I can tell, it's taken really well. I've got maybe probably 95% success rate in the propagation so far, so that is really good. And then something that's really interesting that I thought I'd show you is even in, where's it at? One of them that did not actually take the original, but if I'll pop this here so you can see, this actually had died, but way down in there is a little guy that's starting. So I've had really good success with that. So I'm going to go ahead, turn the camera here. So we will take, I've got a little stick here, and we'll go in and we'll try with some of this peppermint that's looking really good. And we'll just go ahead, pop this down in there. We can loosen this soil up a bit. Oh wow. Yeah, we've got a lot of roots taking place there. Look at that. Just a little guy there, but a lot of roots. So it was pretty tough to get up, and a bit worried that I might have just harmed him, but that's alright. We'll stick him back down there. I won't do that with any more, because honestly, they all look really, really great. And so I'm really happy with the turnout there. You can see spearmint, I didn't have as much at the time to go ahead and propagate, but it's looking really well. Got peppermint and orange mint that are just taking off like crazy. And some of them, actually a lot of them, like this one right here, you can see are sending a second shoot, which I'll be able to cut and propagate again. So endless, endless mint. Let's get started, and to go right ahead and get going, we have a good potting mix. It's going to be well draining. We want a nice well draining soil or potting mix because we want to have the ability to go in and water as much as possible to get those roots to develop nicely on this mint. Next, just went in and spread out that potting mix evenly, and then went in and just pushed it down. I want to make sure that we have as much in each of those as possible to allow those roots the most amount of soil, compost, space that they can really get those roots nice and deep into. So I just brought them over. The plants were ones that I had just sitting on my windowsill in the kitchen. You can see some of them have gotten quite bigger. Some of them, like this one, this spearmint, didn't get as big, but it still grew and kept nicely. So when you're cutting these plants, you want to go for the nice green tips. I normally go for about 2.5 to 3 inches, and then take off the bottom half to 3/4 of the leaves. what this is going to allow those plants to do is really send as much energy as possible into the root development. And you're leaving 25 to 50% of that plant there, so you're not going to harm it too much. It's going to have more than enough leaf space to photosynthesize. Next, I took all those cuttings and just wetted down that soil. I wanted to make sure it was nice and moist. And since you cut and took those leaves off of each of those mint propagates, you're able to just stick it right on in there. I try to get it down until there's a little bit of space before those first leaves. And once you get to this point, it becomes pretty easy. Just went in and stuck them all in there. It goes by pretty quick. And you'll notice when I do stick them in, I also press the soil around it just to ensure that there is that root area is completely touching all that soil and water so that it doesn't dry out. Because if it does get dry, that's going to really hurt the ability for it to send out roots. So I went ahead and did that. And here we are finishing it up. It is quite an easy process, honestly, for as many mint plants as I'm going to get from this, just a few minutes. So we'll put her on up there under the lights. If you have a greenhouse, you can put it out in your greenhouse, but I just had it in here. And now you can see the overall size of when they went in there. And when we go for the update, which you've already seen, we'll be able to see the amount of growth in just a few weeks. That's all we got today. It's hot in the greenhouse. It's a really beautiful day, but I'm really happy with how this mint especially took off, propagating well. Just make sure you keep it nice and watered. I used some home sifted compost and some vermiculite, and it worked out great. Or not in this, I think this was actually just a potting mix. I've got some others that I started with some homemade compost that's turned out good. But really, any way you do it, it's going to turn out great. And you can have mint and save mint during the winter or during the fall. Take some inside, and even if it doesn't flourish, because some of them, like this spearmint, was not doing so hot. It was barely hanging on. But you're able to, keep it going, and you get it out here during the spring, and, give it the right environment, nice wet environment, or you keep them nice and watered, and you bring in the heat a little bit, and they shoot off like crazy. So really happy with that. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial on how I take my mint, keep it over winter, and then propagate it for spring and growing. If you did, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share buttons. And as always, this video will be on plantbasedgabriel.com. We've got a lot of videos about our 1 acre vegan farm, and then always full of delicious, healthy, whole food, plant-based vegan recipes that I make here in my kitchen. So, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Plant-Based Gabriel here. I'll see you guys soon.